Richard from Seneca Learning, and today we're going to look at an introduction to vectors. So let's get going. So this is some notation of how we write vectors. So this arrow shows that it's a vector going from point A to point B. Another way to show vectors would be to either bold a letter, underline a letter, or put that little squiggle under a letter. So that just tells us that that is a vector. You can also have something called column vectors. So they are vectors that tell us the direction and size of the vector. So in this situation, you've got a 3 at the top, which tells us it moves 3 in the positive direction along, and then -3 on the bottom, which tells us it moves 3 down in the negative direction. You can use the same rule as coordinates, so along the corridor first, and then up, or in this case down the stairs for this situation. And with column vectors, the nice thing about them is you can add and subtract them, which is quite handy when you're working with vectors. So here you just add or subtract across the top, and then the same across the bottom. So 3 plus -5 would give us -2 as your horizontal direction, and then 2 plus 1 would give you +3. So this tells us it's going -2, so that's 2 to the left, and then +3, so 3 up. That's that vector's direction and size. So similarly with the subtract, you've got 3 subtract -5, which gives us 8, and you've got 2 subtract 1 to give us 1. So again, that means it's going 8 to the right along the corridor, and then 1 up. Let's look at some questions to sort of consolidate that knowledge. So top number tells us that this is -10, so 10 units to the left in this situation, and -5 on the bottom will be 5 units down. Great, correct, fantastic. So there's a video here that you could watch in your own time. I'm going to skip that and move on. So some more vector notation. You can look, if you've got a point here and a point here, we name this vector A, just for argument's sake, and then from here to here it would be vector B. Now instead of saying, oh, you go along A, then go along B, we can just write a brand new vector, which would just be A plus B. Similarly, if you've got a vector here, A, that goes from this point to this point, and you've got B that goes from this point to this point, if we want to write a vector that goes from here to here, we can go up here. That's in the positive direction for A, because it's from the start to the end. But here we're going from the end to the start, so that's the sort of negative of B. So we can go A -B, A minus B, which gives you this vector here. Again, let's look at some questions. So, which is C in terms of A and B? So C goes from here to here. So we want to go along A in the positive direction, but then down B in the opposite direction. So the A subtract B. Where's that? There we go. Correct. Doing well here. Again, another video. I'm going to skip that you can watch in your own time. Another bit. So 2 units to the left and 1 unit up is what this vector tells us. Another video. Again, let's go 2 units to the left and 1 unit down this time because it's a -1. So again, in terms of C, what is C in terms of A and B? So we start from C, it goes from here to here. So for that, we go up A in the positive direction, and again along B in the positive direction. So it'll be A plus B. And another video. And that's the end, and I got 100%, which is fantastic, and I've earned a memory, and I'm going to go for Hallstatt in Austria.